up? So you finally found my corner of the internet. Welcome. So I'm James Simpson, and I'm a high-performance business coach. That's where I spend the majority of my time. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so that just means I like to do all things entrepreneurship-wise. People are like, what's a serial entrepreneur? You know what a serial killer is, right? Somebody that likes to do what? Kill, kill, kill. Well, serial entrepreneur. I like business. You're like, oh, he's dark. A little bit, but it's safe. You know, it's safe. I am a serial entrepreneur. I like to start businesses, grow them, and get them successful, and either keep them or sell them off, etc. So let's talk about, in that regard, having started the number of businesses that I've started, and I've gotten businesses to 6, 7, and 8 figures. So I've experienced a lot over the last. I've been a full-time entrepreneur since 2006. That's when I left corporate America. So I have not been getting a check from anyone other than myself since 2006. And what is that? 16, 15 years? It's a long time. It's a long time. So that being said, I want to share with you some things that I've never really shared in depth publicly. So one of those things is, one of my biggest, I want to say, learning lessons, mistakes. If I had to do it, everybody's always asking me, if you started over, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do different? This episode, watch it, because y'all keep asking me this everywhere: TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. What would you do different? So I'm just gonna link this post from now on when everybody asks me that question. So back in 06, Q4, started my business. 07, very successful year. About a year and a half in, I'm on a run rate of, I'm having my first 6-figure month. I'm making more money in a month now than I did in a year when I was in corporate. Things are going great. I'm out west in California. So I'm sitting with a very, prominent person in the fitness industry. We're having a brunch/lunch. Get a phone call from software company. Software company says, hey, somebody's trying to log in. This is the fitness CRM that I use to manage all of my clients, where all of my clients' information is held, how much people pay me, all of this stuff, all that. And they're like, hey, somebody's trying to log in. Here's the IP address. This is where it is. I'm in California. Someone's trying to log in back where I live, which is on the opposite coast. It's not me. All right, they said change your password, and we'll call you back. Change your password, good to go. Then I get a voicemail from a lawyer. It was a verbal cease and desist, and telling me do not step foot back on this property. I was renting. I was paying 6 figures a year to rent space in a big athletic club, a big box gym, so to speak. And they said, hey, never step foot back in here. I'm like, what's going on? So can you imagine, just making your last month, you made $120,000 in 30 days. You go across the country to learn what you're getting ready to do next. I'm hiring a coach. I'm moving forward. I'm fired up. I'm making money, but I know there's another level. How do I provide more for my clients? How do I provide more for my employees? How to become a better version of myself? That's what I went out there to learn. And in the midst of learning all that, someone is behind the scenes stealing everything that I spent the last year to year and a half building. $1 million business is getting stolen right out from under me. Now, the biggest lesson in this is the people you keep close to you. I want you to be very cognizant, very aware. Man, my number 2, I had so close, sharing so many things, and I was unaware that people, what's the word? Because I don't like to talk bad about people or ill of people, but I also want to be honest. There are people that'll be close to you and they want to be you. They want what you have. They want, especially when it's a number two, like I'm willing to bet that 99% of vice presidents want to be the president. I want to say 100, but there's that one vice president somewhere is like, no, I just wanted to be vice. But I'm willing to bet. I mean, and we see most of the time, we see the vice president get the tap and then say, okay, I'm going to try to run. And they're the next person that runs. They might not get nominated, but they're the person that runs. So you need to be very cognizant, very aware of who your number two is, who you tap and say, you're my number two. Number one, but you got to be careful. Number one, be careful who you make your number two, okay? And then, even when you make them your number two, don't do what I did. Don't share but so much information. There's a lot that needs to be kept close to the chest when it comes to your number two. Well, entrepreneurship is lonely and I don't have anyone to talk to. And get a therapist and get this guy. You could pick him up everywhere. There's this one guy that's going to be amazing. He's going to serve you well. His name is Journal. Okay, this is how you spell his name. Journal. He's never going to let you down. All right? So you and Mr. Journal or Mrs. Journal going to sit down and write out your plans. You're going to write out, hey, instead of me telling my number two this, I'm going to put this onto my paper. I'm going to tell my journal. And after that, get a therapist. Get a business coach. Get someone that has been where you've been and can advise you. Get an advisory team or board or whatever, depending on the growth of your company. Because I'm going to tell you, baby, don't take all the stuff that's in here and here and share with your number two. That I 10 out of 10 do not recommend. I don't care how smart they are. I don't care how much you trust them. I don't care if your number two is your mama, sister, brother, cousin, auntie, uncle, nephew, niece, your son, your daughter. Oh, you're saying this because you're hurt. No, that happened 10, 12 years ago. I am not hurt. I run into all these people. I shake their hands. I hug them because I'm wildly successful and doing better than all of them. So, that's not why I hug them and shake their hands. It's because I'm not going to allow anyone in my life to cause me to miss out on my next season, my breakthrough, my blessing, whatever it is I have, because I'm holding something in my heart against them. So understand when I say this, it's not from a place of hurt, frustration, anger, nothing. It's from a place of it's admonishment, it's advice, it's wisdom, it's counsel. It's, people are like, oh, well, you don't stick your hand in the fence at the zoo. Oh, why? Because it's smart, because there's somebody on the other side. It's not that they don't. If I stick my hand in the fence and there's a lion in there and the lion bites me, the lion's not wrong. And that's what's happening in this country. The lion is responding according to his nature. Okay? Your number two is going to respond according to their nature at some point. And they are not wrong. I don't fault any of those people. I have a perspective on it. I don't agree with it. But I don't fault them because they're responding according to their nature. And the worst thing in a race is to come in second. I think coming in second is worse than coming in third because you are so close to being what? First. And I want you, the reason I'm harping on the reason I'm talking about this, because I need you to understand you got to be careful who you share your vision with. I told you, the first thing you do, you find Mr. and Mrs. Journal, you sit down, get your nice little pen and paper, and you write that stuff out. You get it out of your heart, you get it out of your mind, you keep it in your journal, and you just don't share it. When you hear me, when you share stuff on social, I'm sharing a snippet. I'm doing one or two things. If I'm not doing it, I'm sharing just about 5 to 10%. And if I'm sharing more than that, you can guarantee it's either already done or I'm so far in the works of it that I don't mind. But I still, to this day, as a best practice, there's no one that knows everything. They just don't. They don't. And I believe that as a best practice. You can have your person. You can have your spouse. You can have I'm fine with that. I think that you definitely share things in a loving relationship. And if we're talking about relationally, but what I'm talking about in entrepreneurship, that number two does not get all of that information. They need enough information to do their job efficiently and effectively and to get to that next place, that next move. That's the amount of information they need. We do not need to overshare. And you guys have got to you got to stop going on social media telling everybody what you're about to do. Imagine right now an NBA team having a playbook and saying publicly, we want to let the rest of the NBA know this is our game plan for the next 2 weeks. This is how we're going to play. Here's our plan. Here's our strategy. Do you know how much harder? Now, they might still win, but do you know how much harder they have to play now that everybody knows what they're about to do? You still don't, the point in that example is you don't think just because you're winning right now that, it doesn't work. It will eventually come to bite you in your butt. And I'm telling you, you've been in business 20 plus years and you haven't experienced it. My only thought is you've then said, okay, you're smart enough to know better. But everybody else on here, keep your mouth shut. That's my lesson to you. Because as you keep your vision close to here and people, you can walk it out. You can say, this is what I'm going to do. That's what I want. I want to see entrepreneurs share what they're doing in real time through action, through deed, and less through here. And making sure that the people that you keep around you, understanding you brought those people around you as a support. Okay? They are not. So if I have crutches, they're there for me to lean on to assist me as I walk. They're only there to assist me. Your team is there to assist you as you apply pressure and lean and say, hey, I need some help. Boom. But they're not there to do the entire job. That is you. And leadership is a lonely place at times. So that's why you journal. That's why you get a therapist. That's why you find an excellent business coach. That's why you get into communities with other like-minded people who are where you are or further down the road. But that is not why you say, hey, this is what we're about to do, this, and this, and boom, 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 and share all of your plans with your number two in command. I don't care how much trust you have. I don't care how much rapport you have. This isn't fear-based conversation at all. This is all experience-based. It will serve you in the long run. So I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear right now in the comments. I want to open up a dialogue because I want to know right now, there are a lot of entrepreneurs that feel like they just don't have a platform. They don't have a place to share, to communicate, etc. And I want to be able to help you as much as I can and advise you as much as I can to give you the guidance to get to that next win, to get to that next place, and to know, hey, this is a place for me to take some of these things that I might take here or there. So jump in the comments. Let me know, hey, James, it'd be beneficial for me to have a space like this because I've been thinking about creating and fostering community with entrepreneurs who really need a place just to share those thoughts and ideas or ask questions as opposed to trying to go internally where their position is a leader and a thought leader and an innovator and et cetera. But they can't have a peer-to-peer conversation with people they're leading. You guys can't do that. So you need a place where you have peers that you can say, hey, how are you doing? What'd you do with this, et cetera. So I want to know in the comments if that's community that would help you, if that's something that you're interested in. And I want to know if you're dealing with this. I want to know if this is something real because I dealt with this heavily. Like I said, it's been over, 15 years, 12 years. So I still see the people that I coach dealing with it, and I want to know more from you if this is something that you've been currently dealing with and how you're dealing with it. So let me know. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.